still being on the road, we both agreed that being up here probably would be the best thing since her whole support system is up here.
Mad as hell. She mad as hell. Look at her face. She mad as
hell. I made
hell.
it very clear, even before KK, before the I do's, before everything, how I felt. My business is in St. Louis.
She mad as hell.
What I do, my vibe, my connections, and
she said we're gonna live in New York.
Setting up shop like that in New York.
From the outside, it looked like the perfect R&B fairy tale. Ashanti and Nelly had found their way back to each other after years apart, got married in 2023, and quietly welcomed their first child the following year. Fans were celebrating the comeback love story. Two early 2000s icons finding peace, parenthood, and purpose after a decade of missed chances. But then, out of nowhere, the internet started digging.
She's not fucking with me today. I ain't worried about it, because when she want to take them dumbass pictures when we out walking, no sir. I'm not gonna do it. And I'm gonna save my son. But I love her though. That's my baby. Babe, let's go do it on the beach.
Old clips resurfaced, interviews started circulating, and suddenly the story of soulmates reunited started to look a lot more complicated. Because if the timeline adds up, if what Nelly said years ago and recently hinted at is true, it looks like Ashanti might have never been his first choice. And the name tied to that headline, Beyoncé.
You know, Beyonce, it wasn't long ago that me and you was newcomers in this music game, you know what I'm saying?
I know. I just got a question.
What that is?
How you keep your rhymes so tight?
You know, it come like the ass. I just work on it, for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's how you got all the ladies. Say your name, say your name.
All right. I hope you can say it. But you know, here are the nominees for the best solo artist.
It all started with a throwback video from the early 2000s, one of those grainy, low-resolution clips from a time when hip-hop and R&B ran every red carpet. Back then, Nelly was the hot new rapper with platinum chains, hit records, and crossover fame. Beyoncé was still rising with Destiny's Child, right on the edge of becoming the cultural powerhouse she is now.
Hey, if it's Nelly, come on out.
Nah,
if it's
that
Nelly,
ain't it.
let's see who it is.
That ain't it.
Nelly! Oh my God.
Yeah.
Nelly to walk in with a box of Popeyes chicken.
Is it hot?
Whose favorite is the chicken?
Beyonce loves
It's
it.
your favorite.
I love Popeyes.
She loves Popeyes.
In that clip, Nelly, young, confident, maybe too confident, flirts with Beyoncé during a segment at the Source Awards. It's playful, but awkward. He's cracking jokes, trying to charm her with that country grammar swagger. And she's smiling politely, keeping it business. The energy's clear. He's trying, she's not buying. For years, it was just a forgotten moment from a different era. Until now, because fans recently noticed something strange. In a new interview, Nelly brought that moment up again. Not word for word, but close enough for people to connect the dots. Sitting comfortably in an extra interview, married and supposedly happy, he laughed about his first attempt at shooting his shot early in his career. He said it didn't work at the Source Awards, and fans instantly knew what he meant.
Take you guys back, okay? The moment you met. All right?
Yeah.
So I need to know, Nelly, was this your move, trying to get an autograph?
Well, I mean, that was my first Grammy-nominated artist I was in front of at the time. So I hadn't tried that move on anybody else. It didn't work at the Source Awards, so I thought I'd try it at the Grammys.
He wasn't talking about a random woman. He was talking about Beyoncé. That one line sent the internet into overdrive. Comment sections filled up instantly. "So you mean to tell me Ashanti was second choice?" one fan wrote. Another added, "It's giving backup energy."
Get up. Oh, come on, because I don't have enough water in here.
So keep the goddamn blanket on. What the fuck you talking about? You better not get up. Yeah, get up, that's your ass. Yo. Give me the receipt machine.
No, I'm about to get it.
Yo, so look.
You took it
Oh,
out.
shit.
Oh my God.
Hey, we not going nowhere. Oh, I'm not gonna show you that.
Babe.
Hang up.
I don't think this is like really what married people are supposed to do. I don't think you're supposed to like lock the doors on your husband.
Be going live while I'm pumping.
While you pump it, I think that's a very natural thing.
Yeah, natural for me, not for everybody else to see it.
I'm not showing them that you pumping, babe. I'm doing it from the neck up.
Hit end.
Whoa.
I'm gonna say this. Ashanti settled for Nelly. She settled for Nelly because there is absolutely no way that she, Nelly, her mama, or whoever else is gonna sit there and convince me that sis is actually happy being with him, because you're not in a real marriage, or it seems like a real cohesive partnership where both of y'all are doing work in the relationship. In fact, he barely participates in the relationship. He already ran down the rules and explained to her that when she have that baby, I'm not getting up in the middle of the night. I'm not changing Pampers or anything. This is supposed to be your wife. This is her first child. You ain't new to this. She is. And you can't support your wife during postpartum. Make sure she's well rested and getting her rest, because the baby's already going to be attached to her. She's breastfeeding. And you can't get up to check on your child or to change diapers?
You tried Beyoncé first and settled for whoever said yes. And the tone only got harsher from there. Because now people were rewatching everything. Every interaction, every award show, every nostalgic moment from the early 2000s when Nelly and Ashanti first met. They were putting together a new timeline, and what they found didn't make him look good. After Beyoncé curved him, Nelly apparently didn't take the L quietly.
Okay, y'all. So, first of all, I just got back from the gym, so excuse my edges, they whooped right now. But I've been following this Nelly and Ashanti thing, and it's so funny, like, hearing all y'all different perspectives. Like, these celebrities are not about to listen to you. Like, Ashanti got exactly who she wanted and had a baby by who she wanted to have a baby by. Like, what's the saying? You know, when you make your bed, you lay in it. Like,
Not long after that failed Source Awards moment, he tried again, this time interrupting Destiny's Child mid-interview, showing up with a box of Popeye's chicken like it was the key to Beyoncé's heart. It was awkward. Funny, but awkward. The girls laughed. Beyoncé smiled, but it was that polite celebrity smile. And Nelly, completely unaware of how cringe it looked, tried to play it cool while handing over the box. To be fair, Popeye's was Beyoncé's favorite. Fans already knew she loved it. But using fried chicken to win over the biggest star in R&B, it didn't exactly scream smooth. When the clip re-emerged online this year, people couldn't believe it.
What's up, y'all? So I just had to hop on here right quick and chime in on this Nelly and Ashanti situation. Sure, I could have seen this not working from a very long time ago. Mind you, Ashanti's a Libra and Nelly being a Scorpio. I don't think that Libras need to be with water signs, period. Libras and water signs don't mix at all. I will always and forever believe that Nelly only got back with Ashanti for clout. For clout. That's what it was for. Cause wasn't nobody worried about Nelly, and he was not a topic of discussion before him and Ashanti became an item again. Wasn't nobody worried about Nelly. But baby, the way Nelly sat across from that table and told Ashanti what he was gonna do, regardless of how she felt. It couldn't have been me. It couldn't have been me. Baby, that'd have been Love and Hip Hop all over again, because baby, I'd have flew across that damn table on Nelly ass.
This man really pulled up with Popeyes to flirt with Beyoncé and thought it was romantic, one user wrote. Another added, Ashanti better keep her head up. Her man been chasing Beyoncé for decades. But what made things worse was the timing. This wasn't just a random meme being recirculated. It was resurfacing right after Nelly's new interview, where he joked about his failed move at the Source Awards, the same one tied to Beyoncé. And the fact that he made that comment now, as a husband and father, had fans saying one thing loud and clear: why would you bring that up now? That's where things really started to unravel. Because people weren't just questioning old clips anymore. They were questioning his respect for Ashanti. It wasn't just a harmless story about the past. It was how he brought it up, laughing, smirking, joking about rejection, while sitting next to the woman who built a whole new chapter of life with him. It came across like a backhanded confession. as if he was saying, yeah, I wanted Beyoncé first. But I guess this worked out too. Even loyal fans who had rooted for their reunion started side-eyeing the whole marriage. Imagine your man talking about another woman like that. And it's Beyoncé of all people, one woman tweeted. Ashanti deserves better. But that wasn't the only thing making people uneasy, because while Nelly was casually dropping nostalgic stories in interviews, his behavior off-camera wasn't helping his case either. There was that infamous Instagram Live a few months back, the one where Ashanti was seen breast pumping for their baby, asking for privacy while Nelly kept streaming. She told him multiple times to stop filming. He laughed it off, said, "It's natural," and kept going until she walked away to lock herself in the bathroom. And that clip stayed online for only a few minutes before it was deleted. But fans saved it instantly, and it became Exhibit B in the growing case against Nelly's lack of respect. So when this Beyoncé story resurfaced, it wasn't just about jealousy or insecurity, it was about pattern. Fans were connecting the dots, saying Nelly keeps showing that his ego comes first, even when his partner's comfort comes last. And now, instead of people swooning over Nelly and Ashanti, the comeback couple, the internet's buzzing with questions. Was Ashanti always second best? Did Nelly ever really let go of the one that got away? Or has he been using nostalgia to stay relevant, even if it means humiliating the woman who stuck by him? Because if you listen closely to how he tells it, and how awkwardly he ties Ashanti's love story back to his old rejection, it starts to sound like this marriage might have always been built on Plan B energy, and that's where things start to get messy. Because once fans began calling him out publicly, Nelly didn't stay quiet. He doubled down, and what he said next only made the situation worse. And when that interview clip started circulating, the internet didn't just react, it exploded. The resurfaced videos, the tone-deaf laughter, the offhand Beyoncé references, all of it hit at once. And by the next morning, Nelly's name was trending for all the wrong reasons. What should have been a quiet era for him, family life, new fatherhood, music legacy, turned into another PR disaster. Because instead of looking like a husband glowing in domestic peace, he looked like a man who couldn't stop talking about the one that got away, and fans noticed everything. They dissected the way his face changed when he told that Source Awards story, how he looked too comfortable reminiscing about the moment that didn't work, how Ashanti, sitting right beside him, tried to smile through it. That polite, professional smile you give when you're not about to make a scene on camera. Someone posted the side-by-side screenshots, Nelly laughing about his failed shot at Beyoncé, and Ashanti sitting there, eyes flicking down, jaw tightening just enough for the internet to notice. The caption said it all, "You can see her die inside." And that one tweet had over 100,000 likes within a day. It wasn't just gossip anymore. It became a conversation about respect. Because Nelly didn't just mention a random ex or a fling. He mentioned Beyoncé, the most iconic woman in the business, and tied that rejection to the way he met Ashanti. Whether he meant it that way or not, it sounded like he was saying, "I tried Beyoncé first, then I moved on to you." And once fans framed it like that, there was no saving him. One viral TikTok laid out the entire timeline, the Source Awards clip, the Destiny's Child Popeyes moment, and then his first public appearance with Ashanti at the Grammys, exactly 3 years later. The video ended with the caption, "He shot his shot at Beyoncé in 2000. Ashanti said yes in 2003. That's not romance. That's persistence with a consolation prize. Harsh, but it hit a nerve. Because even fans who used to love their reunion, the matching outfits, the nostalgic tour photos, the baby announcement, suddenly started questioning whether Ashanti had been living in someone else's shadow this whole time. It didn't help that Ashanti herself had been keeping unusually quiet since the story resurfaced. She hadn't posted much, just a few family photos, no captions, no comments, and the silence only made the speculation louder. People started saying she looked checked out in her last few appearances. One entertainment blog even ran the headline, "Ashanti's eyes say what her mouth won't. Is Nelly disrespecting his wife on purpose?" Because the truth is, this wasn't an isolated issue. That live stream incident, the one where he filmed her pumping milk, had already cracked their perfect couple image. Fans had called it uncomfortable, controlling, even invasive. Ashanti, a private woman who built her brand on elegance and discretion, suddenly found herself being exposed in an intimate moment she didn't consent to share. When people paired that with the new interview, the narrative turned dark fast. It went from, Nelly's being goofy again, to, this man doesn't know how to respect boundaries. One fan wrote, "This isn't about Beyoncé. This is about a man who still acts like a boy in front of cameras." Another added, "You're a whole husband and father, and you can't stop centering yourself. Ashanti's out here carrying your child, your legacy, and you're reminiscing about Beyoncé. Yikes." The general public sentiment was brutal. But instead of staying silent or apologizing, Nelly leaned into it. During a short backstage clip from another interview later that week, when someone jokingly asked him, "Man, you really had your eyes on Beyoncé first, huh?" He smirked and said, "Hey, I got good taste, don't I?" That line sealed it, because it wasn't just about taste anymore. It was about tone. And every woman watching that clip felt the same chill run down their spine. It sounded dismissive, arrogant, and completely oblivious to the optics. The comment section filled up instantly. "So that's a joke to you? Ashanti deserves an apology, not attitude. He really doesn't see the problem." And right when fans thought it couldn't get worse, another clip resurfaced. This time from an old Access Hollywood red carpet, years before he and Ashanti made things official. When asked about meeting her for the first time, Nelly said, "I hadn't tried that move on anybody else before. It didn't work at the Source Awards, so I thought I'd try again at the Grammys. At the time, it sounded like harmless humor. Now, viewed through this new lens, it hit completely differently. People stitched it on TikTok side by side with the Beyoncé clip, adding captions like, 'He really admitted Plan B on camera. This was never love. This was timing. Ashanti built a family with a man who made her a rerun of someone else's story.' And that's when fans started saying out loud what many had quietly suspected, that Ashanti might have known about those old rumors, might have brushed them off, thinking time had changed him. But now, watching him joke about it in 2025 like it's funny, it just felt humiliating. Insiders close to Ashanti reportedly said she was hurt but not surprised. They said she always knew he could be reckless with his words, but didn't expect him to take it this far. Another source told Radar Online that she's focusing on her baby and her work. She doesn't want to feed into this nonsense. Still, even with silence, you could feel the tension brewing. Because every time Nelly tried to brush things off with another smile or quote about not letting haters ruin happiness, fans only dragged him harder. His own comment sections turned into debate zones, half defending him as just being real and half calling him a narcissist who never grew up. And for Ashanti, a woman who built her career on independence, loyalty, and grace, this was the last thing she needed. After everything she'd fought through to rebuild her image, to step back into the spotlight on her own terms, she now had to sit and watch her husband make headlines for saying another woman was basically his first choice. What made it sting even more, this was supposed to be their era. The comeback, the healed love story. The after all these years we found our way back narrative that had people believing in fate again. And yet, here she was. The new mom, the devoted wife, quietly holding her head up while the man she trusted the most reminded the world that she wasn't his dream girl. The internet turned, but this time, not just on Nelly. Some fans started to pity Ashanti, others began to question her judgment, and a few even wondered if she'd finally had enough. Because as forgiving as she's been in the past, this time, the disrespect wasn't private. It was broadcasted, it was documented, it was public humiliation. And while Nelly might have thought he could charm his way out of it, what happened next proved that sometimes charm doesn't save you. It exposes you. Because when Ashanti finally broke her silence, she didn't need to say much. The message spoke for itself. By the time the week ended, Nelly had gone from being celebrated as a hip-hop legend turned family man to the internet's latest embarrassment. The interviews, the clips, the resurfaced footage, all of it had flipped on him. And the story now was simple. Nelly had humiliated Ashanti, and she didn't deserve any of it. Ashanti didn't issue a statement or hop online to explain herself. She didn't defend him or deny the whispers. She went quiet. And that silence became louder than any response she could have given. It wasn't the kind of silence that came from weakness. It was the kind that carried power, calm, and calculation. A week after the backlash hit its peak, she stepped out publicly for the first time. It was a charity gala in New York, cameras flashing, reporters shouting her name. She walked in wearing a silver gown that shimmered under the lights. No husband by her side, no wedding ring, no trace of the tension that had been unfolding online. She smiled, posed for photos, and carried herself with the kind of poise that made it clear she was done being the story. People noticed. Her posture, her energy, her silence, everything about it said she had nothing to prove. Online, fans began to connect the dots on their own. They said she looked at peace, that she was radiating confidence, that maybe she had already made her decision. Because for a woman who had spent decades in the industry, Ashanti knew that sometimes the most powerful move you can make is to say absolutely nothing. Behind the scenes, people close to her hinted that she was hurt but focused. She wasn't angry in public, but she was setting boundaries. Privately, she told her circle that she wasn't interested in dragging her family through more noise. She wanted to protect her child, protect her peace, and keep her dignity intact. The message was clear. She was moving forward quietly, on her own terms. Nelly, meanwhile, took the opposite approach. Instead of laying low, he tried to downplay the backlash. He posted a short video of himself in the studio, laughing and saying that people always twist his words. It came across as defensive, even smug. Fans weren't convinced. His comment sections filled with criticism, people saying that this wasn't a misunderstanding. It was disrespect. Every attempt he made to lighten the situation only made him look more out of touch. Then Ashanti made her first real move. It wasn't a statement. It wasn't an interview. It was a single action online. She unfollowed him. One click, but it set everything off again. Screenshots spread instantly. News outlets picked it up. Within hours, her unfollow had become the headline. Everyone could feel what that meant. She wasn't playing the public game anymore. She was detaching. Fans understood it for what it was, a boundary, a quiet goodbye that didn't need words. After all, she had given him grace before. She had forgiven him once, rebuilt something that everyone thought was gone. But this time was different. This wasn't a private issue between them. It was humiliation that happened for the whole world to see. In the days that followed, she started posting again. Just small glimpses, her in the studio, her with her baby, snippets of her life that felt grounded and peaceful. No captions that referenced drama, no passive-aggressive shade, just simple phrases about gratitude, healing, and faith. It was her way of taking her narrative back. People began to rally around her. The same fans who had celebrated their reunion now shifted their loyalty entirely to her. Old performances of her song Foolish started circulating again, with people saying it hit differently now. Clips of her performing Rain on Me filled timelines. Women writing that she had been singing this kind of heartbreak long before anyone realized she'd be living it too. Nelly, on the other hand, tried to keep up appearances. He did another podcast trying to frame the situation as a misunderstanding, saying that people hear what they want to hear. But his tone gave him away. He sounded defensive, detached, like someone who still didn't grasp the damage he'd done. By mid-summer, people noticed he wasn't wearing his wedding ring during performances. Some blogs called it a cooling-off period. Others said it was a sign the marriage was already over. Fans were convinced Ashanti was quietly distancing herself, one move at a time. It became clear that whatever they once had wasn't the same anymore. What was supposed to be a second-chance love story had turned into a public lesson about self-respect. For years, people had looked at Ashanti and Nelly as a fairy tale, the couple that found their way back after time apart. Now, it looked more like a cautionary tale about what happens when someone's ego never evolves, even after love, marriage, and fatherhood. Ashanti's silence became her shield. She didn't need to explain or retaliate. Her confidence said it all, that she was done trying to fix a man who still lived in the past. Every photo, every calm smile, every graceful step forward was her response. The truth is, she never had to expose him. He exposed himself, his own words, his own need to joke, to relive old crushes, to make himself look like the man who could have had anyone. That's what undid him. Because in trying to sound confident, he ended up showing exactly how careless he was with the woman who stood by him. And now, as Ashanti continues to live quietly, raising her child and refocusing her life, Nelly's left facing the reality that sometimes the greatest loss doesn't come from who you couldn't have. It comes from who you took for granted. In the end, Ashanti didn't lose anything. She walked away with her dignity, her peace, and her power intact. Nelly, meanwhile, lost the one person who made him look grounded, the one woman who loved him beyond the spotlight. It's a reminder that love can't survive on nostalgia or status, not when respect is missing. And no matter how many years pass, no matter how deep the history runs, the truth always finds its way to the surface. Ashanti didn't have to raise her voice. She just had to let his words speak for him. And in the silence that followed, everyone could finally hear what kind of man he really was. So what do you think? Did Nelly cross the line by bringing up Beyoncé? Or was it just careless timing that backfired? Let me know your thoughts down below, because this story's got layers, and something tells me it's not over yet. Make sure you're subscribed and tuned in, because if Ashanti decides to break her silence for real, it's going to shake the internet all over again.